Hello, my name is Perry Freilich with VBCG, and today I'm here to walk you through a healthcare demo in Anaplan. Our application is composed of 10 different pages. What really separates Anaplan from other business tools is the ability to plan. It's not just reporting, so a lot of our pages are planning oriented. I'm very excited to dive into some of these. So let's get started. Our company is called Blue Oak Medical Group. What they do is they oversee a wide variety of ambulatory service centers and hospitals. Up here, you can see that we have a hierarchy for our locations. We can come in, we can view all of our locations at once. We can go to the regional level, state level, and then ASC/hospital level, which I'll primarily focus on Chicago General Hospital today. We generally like to start with some sort of executive overview, and it's intended for the executive leadership team. Our pages are highly configurable. That's another plus of Anaplan. We're able to pull in any data sets, any visuals from any of our planning pages, and provide a high-level overview of our results. So for a Blue Oak Medical Group, you can tell that ELT wants to see net income, some RCM data, volume variance. We're even pulling in some commentary from the CEO regarding the volume variance. Going down below, we have some P&L data. So we have our top 3 favorable lines, financial consulting being one, which makes perfect sense. We don't need a third party because we're doing all of our planning in Anaplan in this application. Looking at some of our lines we're struggling in, we have pharmaceuticals, medical and surgical expenses, could be related to the recent tax tariffs. But looking at revenue cycle management, we have a full page dedicated to RCM. Excited to dive into that page, see what we can do to improve our business process. Our EBITDA bridge, very happy to see we are overperforming by $79,000 here. And it looks like our main driver is our revenue. We're doing a great job exceeding our 2025 budget and revenue year to date. We could do some work with variable labor expense, other variable expense, fixed labor and other fixed expenses, not too concerned about. We're pretty close to reaching our target. And then down below, we have a trended P&L summary of actuals and forecast, how total volume is really driving our net revenue, net income. So we have 3 ways to really navigate through our pages. We can come up here to this tab. We can select the page down below. Or what I like to do is if there's a visual that catches my eye, I can dive right into that page by selecting or clicking on the visuals title. So for the income statement P&L, I'm going to pretend that I'm an FP&A analyst, and this page is going to save me a lot of time. And I'm going to show you why. Right now, actuals are through March 25, so Q1 25. That's why the background over here is white. And then the other months, they're green because we are actively forecasting them. ELT, or maybe my director, they may come into this page, review the income statement high level, and they're able to do that. But I'm primarily focused on the details at the GL account level. As I mentioned, Anaplan is highly configurable. I created 4 main forecasting methods for Blue Oak. We can certainly add more, really tailor it to your business needs. But I'm going to select the forecasting method for this GL account, 7001. I can do that by just simply selecting from this dropdown. We'll do fixed as our first example. Fixed value, I'm going to say 100. So what's nice is we can really use conditional formatting here to provide us directions. I'm going to the cell that's highlighted, 100, and we can see that the value is 100 month over month for this GL account in our forecast period. Doesn't seem like it's realistic based on our actuals, so I'm going to select another method. Let's try the average of the last n months. So for n, I'm going to use 2, last 2 months. And this provides a more accurate forecast, at least based on actuals, where we're around $10,000 month over month. Just like in any business, there are exceptions, and we've built that in with this override feature. So in July, let's say we know we have an override of $13,000, and I can change that. Let's change it to $15,000. It immediately impacts our GL account and then the parents as well. And from there, what's going to happen is that future forecast months are going to reference our override values. So we have a lot of flexibility in how we're able to plan. And it's very important to me as an FP&A analyst for 2 main reasons. A lot of companies that I've worked for really block off 2 months to put together their budget. So that's something I'm not going to have to do as we enter FY26. We have a head start. I've selected the methods for all of my GL accounts. And more importantly, we're actively reforecasting month over month. We have a rolling forecast. We can make decisions today. So if we see our net incomes higher than we expected, we can action on that, which is amazing. Really improves the business process. Of course, budget variance analysis is something we need for monthly reforecasting. Right now, we're selected on EBITDA. I can choose any GL account I would like. So let's take a look at RCM. That's something I mentioned before, or I guess it would be revenue cycle management in here. And we're behind. We already know that 4% off target. We can compare ourselves to top performing centers as well as low performing centers. So at least we're not in the bottom 5, but we're close. We're -4. Pittsburgh's -5. So I can really use this data to make decisions with my monthly reforecasting. Are we behind RCM because I'm not using the correct forecasting method, or am I able to action on it? I believe I can action on it, improve our process, and we'll use the RCM page to determine that. And then, of course, ELT, my director may come in, want to see high level what's our budget variance analysis like for our parents. So a lot of flexibility. And then scenarios. Love scenario planning, sensitivity testing. I have three main performances that I'm hypothetically testing: low performance, medium performance, high performance. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to apply a percent lift at the parent level. This is going to save me a lot of time with my hypotheticals for two reasons. When I come in here, I can change my bad debt write-off from -5% to -50%. Half our bad debt is eliminated. We're going to see our high performing line increase. But what's great about this is I can then start forecasting, planning at the GL account by just simply adjusting bad debt. So we're using a disaggregation feature here where we're forecasting at the parent and disaggregating at the GL level. And this is based on actuals in the past. The distribution percentages are being applied. So when I change this back to what it was, we're going to see these $4,000 values be closer to 8, 9. So we can really forecast at the GL level, but save a lot of time by doing it at the parent level. And just like I've mentioned on the other pages, we can apply the summary feature. So these are all of our parents, something my director may be interested in, ELT. And we've talked a lot about forecasting this year, maybe even next year, but we haven't really gotten into the next 5 years, which is important. Maybe we want to acquire more joint ventures. Maybe we're interested in selling. So at all times, we're easily able to see our company's forecast net income for a 5-year span, maybe even longer if we would like. Our biggest driver is volume. I can come up here, I can change my forecasted volume from 12,000 to, let's make it 30,000. And we just saw our total supply expense jump. Makes sense because there's supplies associated with every case. I'm going to revert it back and making it a little bit more realistic. We have these global assumptions. These apply to all centers. And what I can easily do is I can change payroll from, let's make it 5% to 10%. We're going to see that applied immediately. If I was the one making the change and my director comes in here and is wondering why I made the change, I can update the commentary over here on the side. So a lot of flexibility. And speaking of flexibility, overriding values. So I must have already overridden facility cost, probably due to some sort of maturity date. So let's take a look. Facility cost line. I applied an override FY27 for $200 million. So something's maturing, balloon payment perhaps, but we're able to apply overrides, remove them, and you can see how removing this override drastically impacted my net income margin for FY27. So we probably wouldn't be too happy to see this. Luckily, this is just a demo. When I revert it back, our net income margin's up to almost 50%, which is amazing. Excuse me. So far, I've been in the FP&A analyst seat. I'm going to jump over to a CEO position. So I'm the CEO of Chicago General Hospital. What's important to note is that Anaplan is designed for ELT to really hand the baton off to different departments. They can manage their own items, and then the results ultimately feed back to the executive overview. So everybody can own their piece, and ELT can save time by looking at the overview. Here we're able to truly slice and dice by specialty, by payer. So let's take a look at orthopedic surgery. I can see all of the distribution of the payers for orthopedic surgery. Let's take a look at, I'm curious, self-pay. Most of our self-pay clients appear to be orthopedic surgery or emergency medicine. Down below, I can review actuals. Again, I can forecast, which is more important, our volume and our revenue by specialty, by payer. And ultimately, I can leave time-stamped commentary, not only for myself, where I can always go back and review, but for ELT. So if they see something with the variance, we talked about the variance in the executive overview, they can see what I'm saying. Physician planning. So again, designed for the CEO. I can review my budgeted positions, my payroll. So I have a lot of open positions right now in Chicago: orthopedic surgeon, cardiologist, emergency medicine, but I can adjust this accordingly. Maybe we no longer need orthopedic surgeons, and we're budgeted too. When I update this, it's going to impact our job posting and then our visuals as well. Our base compensation is based on RVUs as well as amount paid per RVU. So as an example, here are our orthopedic surgeons. This CPT code, I got all this from CMS, but I'm going to change it drastically. We want to see their monthly income change. So I'm going to change it to $1,000 per RVU. So I change it astronomically, but it's working. And I can really forecast future payroll expenses, and this feeds right into my P&L. So I can forecast payroll, but not be an FP&A analyst. It feeds PL, everything's interconnected. I can have my own bonus structure. So in this case, we like to reward those that are exceeding their volume. So this first physician here has a target of 66 cases. Their actuals are 69, so they've exceeded by 3 cases. Being emergency medicine, they're getting $200 per case above their target, so that's why they're getting paid out $600. Maybe we're struggling with this specialty, really trying to incentivize them. We can increase the bonus amount. Bonus compensation goes up. So truly dynamic. There are other metrics in here as well as total compensation per case, for example. Next position, I'm going to be a facility director here. We're growing quickly. We're adding wings constantly. And in some instances, we're just not fulfilling our facilities. So here I'm able to state, if I have one room, orthopedic surgeons should be able to conduct 800 cases in a year. Truly dynamic. I can see how this is going to impact our forecast when I change it from 800 to 500. So truly dynamic. It also changed the colors for my cities, which I'll explain here in a second. Not only is this great for forecasting, but it's also good for like hypothetical scenario testing as well. These colors, gray represents those that are not fulfilling their space. So Pittsburgh, green's right in threshold. Red means we've outrun our space. So we need to either look at adding a new wing, moving, so on and so forth. So in Chicago, I'm a little bit above green. I'll say I'm within threshold. I can see what adding 3 rooms will do to my clinic. So I'm adding a new wing with 3 rooms. Takes me from that orange color to that green color, which is perfect. Or if I'm looking to grow into my space, how do 10 operating rooms impact me? Like, okay, we're definitely going to need to hire. We're going to have to increase our volume. So I have a lot of flexibility here. We see how many rooms we have, and then how many rooms we're utilizing. So if ELT were to come in, we have a lot of centers. We're trying to catch their eye again with this red conditional formatting. If they are not utilizing their space, or if they have exceeded their space by a significant margin, it's going to highlight these in red, again, to really capture the sense of urgency here. Down below, we have the number of cases, top specialty, the distribution of the specialties for our cases. This is a fun one. So physician performance management. And I'll start by saying that we're able to have role-based permissions throughout Anaplan. And when I say role-based, if I'm an FP&A analyst, I might not be able to view this page. Or maybe I can view this page, but I can't view every visual. So we can really fine-tune that to your business needs as well. For every data set, every visual, every page, even the application itself, if we have multiple applications running at once. Locations, if I'm the Chicago General Hospital CEO, I can only see Chicago. So a lot of flexibility when it comes to permissions, which is very important as we start diving into some of the sensitive data here. We have our top performers. So when I click on this physician here, I have my own tracker. I can rank my action items for this physician. I have the origination date for the action item, my status. I can constantly keep it updated if I'm working in tandem with other members. If I'm a medical director and if I'm working with the chief clinical officer, we can work on this together. So this physician's doing great. A lot of these action items are growth opportunities. So lead an initiative, for example. When I go to a physician that is maybe struggling, we're off our target. We see that some of these are begin shadowing. A medical director may add this action item, or a site CEO. But looking at some of these other ones, attend or required training on EMR compliance. This might be a clinical officer. There's something outside performance that's really sticking out to these individuals. So it's a great way to maintain version management. Everything's in one place. It's in a safe area where the wrong individuals aren't going to be able to view it. So overall, we're able to view variants, actuals, maintain our action items in one place. And jump into our final page, which is revenue cycle management. This will now be the second time I've mentioned it because we're struggling with this in Chicago. We have 163 delinquent cases, almost $500,000 right now of uncollected revenue. So definitely opportunity there. I can compare myself to the culprits, the top culprits for ASCs, specialties, payers. So luckily, or I guess not luckily, I am in this list, but I'm not number one, but a lot of area for improvement here. If I want to see one specific specialty, like cardiology, this is an item I've been working on. This band, 120 days plus, is our greatest portion of the donut. Some of these others are shrinking because we're really trying to reduce our delinquency count. And you can see that down below with our trend. We're really actioning on this every opportunity we get with our total cases, our revenue. So quarter after quarter, we've been working on this. We want to really reduce the amount of uncollected revenue at all times. And we can view that by payer, by specialty. And if I really want to get into the weeds, I have it at the claim level. So definitely an area of focus, ultimately bringing us back to the executive overview. So I want to take a moment to thank you for watching our healthcare demo here. If you have any questions, if this is an application that you're interested in, please reach out to us at VBCG. Again, my name is Perry Freilich. Reach out to Anaplan. We would love to assist you. I've mentioned this a couple times now, but Anaplan is highly configurable. We can really go in depth, get as granular as you need to meet your business needs. But our goal is to also keep it scalable, reduce the amount of time your employees are working, but also improve results, improve our ability to make educated business decisions, quicker business decisions. So we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.